In the 6th century BCE, in the shadow of the Himalayas, where mist rolled across fertile plains and rivers, carved ancient path through the land, there lived a proud people, the Shakyas and the Kolyas. The early history of the Shakyas and Kolyas is little known, although it is certain that they were related to each other. The Sakyas and Kolyas clan are always intermarried with each other. By the 6th century BCE, the Kolyas, the Sakyas, Mauryas and Malaka lived between the territories of the Kosala to the west and the Lichavikas and Vaidehas to the east. The Princess Maya, who was the daughter of a Kolya noble, was married to the Sakya Raja Suddhodana, who was one of the members of the ruling aristocratic oligarchy of the Sakyas. The son of Maya and Suddhodana was Siddhartha Gautama, the historical Buddha and the founder of Buddhism. During the life of the Buddha, an armed feud opposed the Sakyas and the Kolyas concerning the waters of the river Roshini, which formed the boundary between the two states and whose water was needed by both of them to irrigate their crops. The intervention of the Buddha finally put an end to these hostilities. King Prasenajit of Kosala, the overlord of the Sakyans, was a Kshatriya, but the Sakyans of the Adhika clan of the Solar dynasty were considered to be of a higher caste. The Sakyans were very proud of their high caste. Even though King Prasenajit was their ruler, they considered him to be of a lower caste. This greatly annoyed King Prasenajit. He found the caste pride of the Sakyans intolerable, but he was helpless. Though he had conquered the Republic of the Sakyans, it was impossible for him to breach the strongly established caste system. He thought of an idea. There was no queen of high caste in his harem. He thought that it would be a good strategy to marry a Sakyan princess and give her the status of chief queen. Her son would become the crown prince. When the crown prince ascended the throne, he and his descendants would be deemed to be high caste Kshatriya because of their maternal lineage. Thus, the Sakyans could no longer claim to be of a higher caste than the royal family of Kosala. King Prasenajit sent an ultimatum to the Sakyan princes, demanding the hand of a Sakyan princess in marriage. This ultimatum caused uproar among the Sakyans. King Prasenajit was the monarch of their republic and a mighty king. If the Sakyans rejected his demand, he would be furious. His empire was vast with a powerful army. If he attacked them, the Sakyans would be routed, and they would lose even the autonomy over their domestic affairs. The Sakyans were also aware of the painful details of a similar incident in the past. By rejecting the demand of the ruler of Kosala, they faced the fearful possibility of history repeating itself. They did not wish to witness the destruction of their republic again. Yet, they could not accept the ultimatum of King Prasenajit. How could they give any Sakyan princess in marriage to him? He was a low-caste Kshatriya. The caste pride of the Sakyans did not allow them to swallow this insult. Therefore, all the Sakyans gathered in the assembly to discuss the crisis. After much deliberation and consultation, they decided that the daughter of Mahanama's slave named Vāsabhakhattiyā should be declared to be a Sakyan princess and given in marriage to King Prasenajit. The Sakyans also resolved that the truth of Vāsabhakhattiyā's birth should be kept secret forever. They managed to convince King Prasenajit's royal envoys that she was truly a Sakyan princess by deceiving them into believing that Mahanama and Vāsabhakhattiyā were eating together from the same plate. The envoys were completely fooled. Vāsabhakhattiyā was married to King Prasenajit and was made the chief queen. After some time, she gave birth to a son who was named Vidudabha. When he grew older, he asked his mother to take him to the palace of his maternal grandparents. His friends told him many interesting stories about their maternal grandparents and uncles, and showed him the presents they had received from them. He was keen to meet his maternal relatives and to receive royal gifts from them. However, Vāsabhakhattiyā always made some excuse to avoid the visit. She knew very well that if King Prasenajit discovered the secret of her birth, the consequences would be disastrous. When Viḍuḍabha was 16, he insisted that he would visit his maternal grandparents even if his mother did not accompany him. Vāsabhakhattiyā sent a message to Mahanama that Vidudabha would be visiting Kapilavastu. They should take care to treat him properly so that the conspiracy was not exposed in any way. The Sakyans tackled the situation very cleverly. They welcomed and treated the crown prince with honor worthy of a king. However, they sent the princes younger than Vidudabha away from the city on some pretext, so that though Vidudabha saluted those elder to him, no one had to salute him. Vidudabha was extremely pleased with their lavish hospitality and returned to Shravasti. On the way, one of his attendants realized that he had left his sword behind and returned to get it. There, he was amazed to see that the seat on which Viḍuḍabha had sat to have his meal was being washed with diluted milk. The slave girl who was washing it was cursing aloud that Vidudabha, the son of the slave girl Vāsabhakhattiyā, had sat on that royal seat and defiled it. Therefore, it had to be washed with milk to be purified. She had been given this extra chore. The attendant learned the entire truth about Vāsabhakhattiyā from the maid and related it to Vidudabha. On hearing this, the fire of vengeance flared up in Vidudabha's heart. He vowed that on ascending the throne, he would destroy the clan of the Sakyan princes who were so proud of their caste. He vowed to wash the seat which they had washed with milk with the blood from their throats. After returning to Shravasti, the secret of Vāsabhakhattiyā's birth was exposed. King Prasenajit was enraged. He withdrew the royal rank, privileges, and protection granted to Vāsabhakhattiyā and Vidudabha. Both of them were allowed only the rank and privileges of ordinary slaves. The fire of revenge in Vidudabha's heart became even more intense. When the Buddha came to know about this, he exhorted King Prasenajit not to give importance to high and low status based on caste. Giving the example of the Katha Harijataka, the Buddha said that the girl who marries the king becomes the queen, even if she is the daughter of a wood gatherer. The son born to her is the heir to the throne. What did caste have to do with this? Vāsabhakhattiyā was his wife and not a slave. Vidudabha was his legitimate son. Why consider him to be low caste? King Prasenajit was mollified by these words of the Buddha and reinstated Vāsabhakhattiyā and Vidudabha to their former royal rank and status. But the fire of revenge burning in Vidudabha's heart was not extinguished. He secretly colluded with the chief commander, Diga Karayana, and, at the first opportunity, usurped the throne. King Prasenajit fled to save his life and went to Rajagaha to seek the help of his son-in-law, Ajatashatru. It was late in the evening when he reached there, and the city gates were already closed. While waiting for the gates to open, King Prasenajit passed away outside the gate at dawn. Vidudabha's claim to the throne was freed from all obstacles. Burning with vengeance, he advanced towards Kapilavastu with a large army. When the Buddha learned of the imminent attack, he went and sat at the foot of a tree with bare branches under the hot afternoon sun near the city of Kapilavastu. When Vidūḍabha saw the Buddha, he felt embarrassed. It was because of the Buddha that he and his mother had regained their former status at the royal palace. Even then, he asked, "How is it that the Exalted One is sitting under this bare tree in the frontier of the Sakyans? May the Exalted One sit under this shady banyan tree within our boundary." The Buddha replied, "Great King, the shelter provided by kinsmen is cooler." Vidudabha understood that the Buddha was sitting there to protect the Sakyans. Therefore, he withdrew his forces and returned to the capital. After a few days, he again led an expedition against the Sakyans. Again, he saw the Buddha sitting there and had to return. This happened a third time too. The fourth time, Vidudabha set out again in extreme rage, determined that he would not be dissuaded by anyone from avenging his humiliation by the Sakyans. The Buddha discerned his state of mind and also knew that the time had arrived for the past misdeeds of the Sakyans to bear fruit. Therefore, he did not intervene. Vidudabha ordered his soldiers not to kill the Sakyans in the palace of Mahanama. All the others were ruthlessly slain. After the gory slaughter, he began his journey back to Savatthi with Mahanama and his family. Next morning, he told Mahanama to join him for breakfast. Perhaps he had brought the caste-proud Mahanama and his family with him to force them to have a meal with him from the same plate. He made the excuse that he wished to bathe in the nearby lake before the meal. He dived into the lake and did not emerge again. After the brutal massacre of the Shakyas, Prince Vidudabha began his return journey to Savatthi with his army. Exhausted from the campaign, they halted for the night on the banks of the Achiravati river. But in the darkness, nature struck without warning. A sudden and powerful flood surged through the river, sweeping away Vidudabha and much of his army as they slept. In a single night, the man who had destroyed a clan was himself destroyed, bringing a sudden and tragic end to his line. The destruction of the Shakyas and the fall of Kosala kingdom marked one of the most tragic and symbolic endings in early Indian history. The Shakyas, once a proud and ancient clan, known as the people of Gautama Buddha, were wiped out not by a great empire, but by vengeance born from insult and pride. Without strong leadership or military stability, Kosala could not resist. Its lands, once powerful and independent, were gradually merged into Magadha, marking the end of Kosala as a sovereign kingdom. In the end, the fall of the Shakyas and the death of Vidudabha reveal a deeper truth about power and fate. Pride and vengeance led to destruction, but victory did not bring lasting glory. The annihilation of the Shakyas erased a clan, yet it also set in motion the downfall of their destroyer. And as Kosala faded into the shadow of Magadha, the political landscape of ancient India shifted toward the rise of larger empires. What remained was not the memory of conquest, but a somber lesson of how quickly power can vanish and how even the mightiest rulers are not beyond the reach of fate.